This story holds a life-changing lesson, one that many people realize too late. Watch till the end to uncover it, and if you find it valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ali was a young man living in a small town, struggling with extreme poverty. He barely managed to eat 2 meals of rice and bread a day. No matter how hard he searched, he couldn't find work. One day, exhausted and hopeless, he shared his worries with his wife.
Everywhere I go, they say they don't need workers. I'm tired of searching. I don't know how I'll feed my family or raise my children. This worry is consuming me day and night.
Hearing this, his wife thought for a moment and said,
You ask for work once, and when they refuse, you never go back. If you truly want a job, you need to gain their sympathy. Show them your struggle, let them see your hardship. Don't be ashamed, tell them about your difficulties. Share your poverty, and that's how you'll find work.
This thought stuck with Ali. The next day, he returned to the same merchant he had approached before. This time, he folded his hands and pleaded, explaining his poverty and desperate need for work. Moved by his words, the merchant hired him. Ali was relieved to have a job, but soon he noticed something unfair. He was being paid less than others for the same work. When Ali brought this up to his boss, the merchant replied,
Look, brother, you needed work, and I gave it to you. Instead of being grateful, you're complaining. Is this how you repay kindness?
Ali fell silent. There was some truth in the merchant's words. He had given him a job based on his circumstances, which explained the lower pay. But over time, Ali started sharing his experience with friends and relatives, telling them about the merchant and his unfair wages. Time passed, and Ali continued working hard, but things began to change. The merchant started giving him more work than others while still paying him less. This deeply troubled Ali. He was working harder, yet earning less. His self-respect took a serious hit, and he gradually lost all interest in his job. After all, who would want to stay where their dignity is compromised? Eventually, he quit and sat idle at home. With no income left, managing household expenses became impossible. Desperate, Ali turned to his relatives and friends for help. To his face, they showed sympathy and offered words of comfort, but behind his back, they mocked him.
He's such a fool.
They whispered,
The merchant overworked him and paid him nothing. If we lend him money, how will he ever pay it back? He has no job, no income. Where would the money come from?
With no support and no work, Ali's situation worsened day by day. Day and night, Ali lived in constant stress. The same friends and relatives who once pretended to support him now only pitied him. They offered advice, but no real help. That's how it often is. Many give wisdom, but few actually lend a hand to guide you forward. One day, Ali heard that a wise old man, known for his wisdom and guidance, had arrived in a neighboring village. Lost in his struggles, with no way out in sight, he decided to seek the old man's advice. Without realizing it, Ali found himself in the presence of a wise elder. Overwhelmed with emotion, he fell to his knees and wept, pouring out his struggles, how his boss had exploited him, and how his relatives had turned their backs on him. After listening patiently, the elder finally spoke.
All these problems stem from your own lack of wisdom. If you had been wiser, none of this would have troubled you. But through your own mistakes, you have placed obstacles in your own path. Today, I will tell you 7 things you should never share with anyone. By following them, you can protect yourself from unnecessary sorrow and inner struggles. The first thing you should never reveal is your hardships. Never present yourself as helpless to gain sympathy or seek help from others. They may assist you today out of pity, but tomorrow they won't hesitate to take advantage of you. And even if they don't, they will surely mock you when you're not around. Therefore, never show your struggles to others. Even if all you have at home are 2 dry pieces of bread, eat them quietly and sleep. But don't let anyone sense your hardship. Ask yourself, why do people reveal their helplessness? Either to gain sympathy or to seek financial help. But in both cases, others won't hesitate to take advantage of you. And even if they don't, They will see you as a fool and mock you behind your back. Never share your weaknesses with anyone. Think about the consequences of revealing your past mistakes and future plans. Those mistakes can't be undone, so what's the point of discussing them? By sharing, you expose your dark side, diminishing your character in others' eyes. Once they see your flaws, they will always view you through that lens. Keep your character guarded and your future plans to yourself. Sharing your strategies with outsiders serves no purpose. They won't help you, but may become obstacles instead. The third thing you should never share is your household matters. Conversations between you and your parents, spouse, or children should remain within the family. If you expose them, you invite interference from others who may take advantage of the situation, even trying to create divisions among your loved ones. This happens often. Many, hoping to resolve family disputes, confide in neighbors or relatives. But instead of solving problems, this only fuels more conflicts, making things worse over time. If you discuss your parents' issues with others, they will feel hurt knowing their own child is sharing family matters with outsiders. So, never talk about your household conflicts with anyone. Now, the next thing you should never reveal may seem surprising at first, but I will explain why it's true. You should never disclose your income. Why? Because if you tell your friends about your earnings, they will remember you whenever they need financial help. If your income is high, they will expect assistance, and if you refuse, they may resent you. If your income is low, people will mock you. Either way, revealing your earnings only leads to unnecessary conflict. Another thing to keep to yourself is your weaknesses and strengths. Many don't even fully understand their own, but if you do, it makes you a wise person. However, sharing them with others is a mistake, because once people know your weaknesses, they will use them against you. If your strengths become known, they can turn into weaknesses, as others will look for ways to exploit them. You shouldn't even share them with your spouse, or you may find yourself under their control at home. Another thing to keep private is your friends and enemies. If you openly talk about your friends, others may try to get close to them and deceive you. Some people may even attempt to create distance between you and your closest friends. While ordinary people may not do this, your enemies certainly will. At the same time, never reveal your enemies. A friend today could be an enemy tomorrow, and if they know who your enemies are, they might join forces against you. Even your closest friends shouldn't know who your enemies are. Lastly, never disclose your charity. If you boast about your generosity, your good deed becomes meaningless. Arrogance will take over, and the true value of your charity will be lost. The best way to give is in silence. When your left hand gives, your right hand shouldn't even know. These 7 lessons, shared with Ali, hold the wisdom of life. By following them, you can bring peace to your home and eliminate unnecessary conflicts forever.